Hi, and welcome to the video on expanding brackets. By the end of this video, you should be able to expand and simplify brackets and know what that means. So let's take a look at what expanding brackets is. It means to remove grouping symbols, or remove the brackets. In this case, we would have learnt from year 7 that we had to multiply the 3 by the a plus 2. That is, 3 lots of a and 3 lots of 2. The 3 lots of a gives us 3a, and 3 lots of 2 gives us 6. But what does that mean visually? Well, I want to show you what it means by looking at some rectangles. If I had a rectangle that had a width of 3 and a length of, we'll call it a plus 2. It doesn't matter what a is, it's just a length. To find the area, I would multiply those two things together, 3 lots of a plus 2, which is what our question is asking us to do. Now, if I was to split that a plus 2 into two separate rectangles, one of length a and one of length 2, I should still get the same area. All I did was split them in, well, not half, but I split them up into one length of a and one length of 2. So my first rectangle would be 3 lots of a, which is 3a, and my other rectangle would be 3 lots of 2, which is 6. Now this same area is 3a plus an extra 6, which is what our answer is. So visually what's happening when we expand brackets is really we're changing one area into two. Let's have a look at another example. Let's say I wanted to do a lots of p minus 5. P minus 5 being a number. Don't know what p minus 5 is, but it doesn't matter because we can remove the brackets anyway. Now, my previous work would have told me to multiply 8 by p and then 8 by minus 5. 8 times p is just 8p, and 8 times minus 5 is minus 40. Visually, what I'm doing is I'm taking a rectangle that is of width 8 and length p minus 5 and multiplying it together. So that if I was to split it into two rectangles, one with length p and one length minus 5, my area would be 8 lots of p and 8 lots of minus 5, giving me the same answer. Now, how does that help you out in reality? Well, let's say we wanted to multiply 5 lots of 37, a fairly difficult multiplication. This is what it would look like visually, 5 lots of 37, the area of this rectangle. Now, what I can do is I can split that 37 into actually two lengths. One of length 30 and one of length 7. So instead of doing 5 lots of 37, I'm actually doing 5 lots of 30 and 5 lots of 7. 5 lots of 30 gives me 150 and 5 lots of 7 gives me 35. So the area of this rectangle is going to be 150 plus 35, which is 185. Now, this is actually a really useful technique in order to multiply two numbers together like this. And we can actually apply this theory to harder questions. But for now, in year 8, all you have to be able to do is to remove these brackets algebraically. So let's have a look. So I'm going to ask you to expand the following brackets. I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to try and do it yourself. Okay, I hope you pause the video because here comes the answers. 3 lots of 2x plus 5, I do 3 lots of 2x, which gives me 6x, and then 3 lots of 5, which gives me 15. That's it for expanding the bracket. The second one, I'm going to do minus 8 lots of 7, which is minus 56, and minus 8 lots of 2y, which is minus 16y. Now, I can't do anything with this answer. That is as simplified as it gets, because the first term is minus 56, which is just a numeral, and the second term is minus 16y, which has the pronumeral y in it. I can't add and subtract those. That's why I'm left with two terms in my answer. Finally, I'm going to do 4x lots of 2x. Now remember that when you multiply x's together, you get an x squared. So that's 4 lots of 2 is going to be 8. So that's 8x squared. And 4x lots of minus y is minus 4xy. That's expanding brackets. Now what I want to show you is some examples where we have to expand but also simplify the bracket. Here's what it means. In my first example, I have a bracket. 3 lots of 2b plus 5. But then I've got to add 3b onto it at the end. In my second example, I've got 12xy plus 7x, lots of 2 minus y. So let's have a look at what I'm going to do. In that first question, I'm going to do 3 lots of 2a, which is 6b, 3 lots of 2b, which is 6b, and then 3 lots of 5, which is 15. I still have that plus 3b on the end. Now that plus 3b is not part of the bracket, so I'm not going to multiply 3 by the 3b. I'm just going to put that 3b on the end. Now what I can do is gather together my like terms. I have a 6b and a 3b that I can add together to give me 9b. And then I'm just going to put the plus 15 on the end. That is the answer that is being expanded and then simplified. Let's take a look at the second example. We start off with 12xy. Now that 12xy is not a part of that bracket at all. So I'm going to begin my answer with a 12xy. But before I do that, I want to show you what I'm going to have to multiply in the bracket. It's going to be 7x lots of 2 and 7x lots of minus y. But that 12xy is not being multiplied at all. So we begin the question with 12xy. We then put 7x times 2, which is 14x, and 7x lots of minus y, which is minus 7xy. Now I've circled the like terms now. I have to subtract those. So 12xy minus 7xy is 5xy, and I've still got the plus 14x on the end. And that is the final simplified version, because 5xy and 14x are not like terms. One is an xy and one is an x. You have to be able to do both expanding and simplifying in order to complete this exercise. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pause and summarize the introduction. I'd then like you to pause and summarize the examples that I've written down, as well as the examples for expanding and simplifying. And that's it. Hopefully, with these examples and with your own work, you'll be able to expand and simplify brackets to no end. And good luck.